This movie is a lot. I just came out of the theater. I came home, been thinking about it, and I mostly just feel kind of overwhelmed by this movie. And I'm just going to come out and say as well that I genuinely feel like I need to watch it again in order to give my like definitive thoughts and feelings on this movie. And that usually doesn't happen with. Usually I watch a movie once and I'm like, this is ass or this is gas. And that just is what it is. I feel like I need to watch this movie again, which makes it not necessarily better or worse, the movie, but it makes it more interesting. And that is what I will say about the movie. It is genuinely unique. Like, this does not feel like any other comic book movie I've ever seen. It doesn't feel like a retread of Marvel. It doesn't feel like a retread of DC. I mean, yes, certain plot points in the movie, we've seen it in other Superman media, but just the feeling of the movie feels unique. When I watch the trailers, I really love the fact that it felt like a sci-fi fantasy setting with the Superman robots and the way that it just doesn't feel like Earth. And I just wasn't I was not prepared for how much that was going to be true. Like, when you look at the MCU, it's very much like, hey, these characters exist in New York. They exist in our world. Nothing about this feels like our world. And I love that about it. I love this DCU. And I guess that is the big positive that this movie has done, is that I like this world. Another thing it does well is the characters. I mean, at the end of the day, at least for me, movies are about characters. Am I attached to them? Am I invested in their lives, in their stories, in their relationships? And this movie does that well. You know, Clark and Lois, I think, work really well. I think David Cornsweet is a fantastic Superman. I think he's a good Clark Kent. And I think Rachel Brosnahan is absolutely perfect casting as Lois Lane. And I dig their relationships. I was compelled by their, relationship struggles, and they absolutely worked. Now, are they like what I was kind of hoping for? Are they like as compelling of a relationship as like Peter and Gwen Stacy, which I think is probably the best comic book relationship? No, and I really was hoping for that to be the case, but it's also far from like some of the awful comic book movie relationships, which, okay, I'll make a Man of Steel comparison. Man of Steel, god awful. Never once did Henry Cavill and Amy Adams have even an ounce of chemistry. So this is definitely a really good, solid comic book movie relationship, and it is a really important aspect to this movie, and it works. Lex Luthor, he's a great villain. He is like absolutely menacing. He is absolutely evil. Some stuff that he does in this movie is like, damn, you guys went there, and I guess I applaud you for it. And Nicholas Hoult is fantastic as well. Another thing that I think a lot of people were worried about was Krypto. I think a lot of people were thinking that Krypto was going to be a little too goofy, a little too silly, and that, a super dog just wasn't going to work in this universe. And it absolutely does.